Imagine asking Dr. Kurian to come back and manage NDDB, or Ravi Mathai to manage IAM, or Pandit Nehru to be back and manage India. Even I am sure Mahatma Gandhi today will have a totally different way of looking at things. Founders have founded institutions, organizations, countries, nations at a given point of time. The context at that time was different. And every now and then context keeps changing. I think every organization lives in its context. To ask founders to come back and reform the organization is something which, in my view, is not a thing that is neither desirable nor possible. I strongly believe founders will find it very difficult to be reformers. Reformers or transformers are totally separate set of leaders. They go according to the times. They are aware of the times. They have phenomenal understanding of what is happening at a given point of time if you have to reform. And they take those people who are working in that institution or organization at that time, the realities and the constraints, the change in policies, the change in law, change in nature, everything into consideration, and they will have to plan out their own strategies. Unfortunately, founders, while they may be value-driven people, they may be visionaries, may not have envisaged and may not even be prepared to deal with the multiplicity of variables that are existing at a given point of time. Today's world is a different world, consisting of several generations. In a professional body, in an institution and an organization, there may be 4 generations of people working with different interests, different aspirations, different exposure to tools, techniques and so on. People born in 40s and 50s would want pension and provident fund. They want security. No matter what you do, they like those kind of incentives. People whom we call as millennials or who were born in the last 20 to 25 years would want cash in hands, technology in their hand, phenomenal amount of workplace infrastructure, phenomenal amount of flexibility so that they can work from anywhere, trust and freedom to do 2, 3, 4 things at a time and not differentiate between working hours or non-working hours and so many kind of things. So if you have to manage or transform an organization where you have multiplicity of variables, complexity of culture and policies, the policies of today are totally different than the policies of yesteryears. It becomes a big challenge for anybody who is not tuned and who is not living and who is not very much a part of the current kind of a system and culture and so on. So in my view, it is always, in fact it is foolish to ask the founders who have done their job and left the scene and they are doing other things, they are acquiring their own knowledge, wisdom, disseminating, and some of them may have even disappeared from this world and are probably having a much peaceful life either here or elsewhere. To be able to come and say that you are a great guy, you come, you reform, you bring change and so on, I think it becomes extremely difficult. I am not saying that founders should not be involved. I think founders are people there to share their wisdom. Do ask for their time. Do ask them for their views. But do not insist on putting their views into operation. I think you need to be aware of your own current reality. You need to work. And today's world is a lot more complex and change is not always easy. Only thing you can say is that you can bring back, if some of the values that people have talked of at the time they founded the institution or not being implemented, and some of these are non-negotiable values. For example, integrity is a non-negotiable value. Speak the truth. Uh, Talk what you feel rather than talking something and feeling another thing. And carry out your promises. Be an integrated human being. This, I think, something which every founder will say. Be ethical. Be a person of good character. And be transparent. Communicate. Transparency is a very, very important value. Communicate. And take people along. Be a good team worker. Volunteer. Give, but not all the time expect. Not all the time take. Because when you give, I think things will automatically follow you. You will get whatever you deserve. You don't have to ask for it. These are some of the values I think founders of most organizations, most institutions, and even countries have always said. When I was a child in the school, I used to remember a very interesting thing that I learned in my school. There used to be a box filled with postcards and envelopes, and it's written there, be honest, Mahatma Gandhi. It's a value Gandhiji tried to promote. From school time we were taught this. And you can pick up a card, a postcard, if you want to write to somebody from that particular box, and you put 5 paisa or 1 anna, whatever is the cost of this one. So that is the way the schools trained children to be honest. If you pick up a card, you must learn and have the discipline of putting whatever it is worth. And you learn from that, paying for whatever you take. And same way I think a lot of voluntary work has happened. So I think it's a good idea therefore to, if you like, to invoke the founders, their values, give examples, promote their stories, to enthuse the current generation, to remold the current generation if you like. But certainly don't expect them to come back and then redo, because I am reasonably certain they may not be any more successful as they were when they started these institutions, organizations and nations. There could be different views than what I have said. You are most welcome to express your views. At least as far as I am concerned, I do not wish to get back. We have done, I think, in an institution like IIM Ahmedabad, we worked for long years and nurtured the culture and made sure that the culture takes over to a large extent, and leadership becomes secondary, culture becomes primary, and so on. Not all institutions may be able to build this particular kind of a thing, but we should work for this. Culture and values are the core of any institution and an organization. All the best from TVRLS. Wish you all good luck.